soon.
Real estate agent, are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is Real Estate Talk TGIF episode 181. 181 is 178 weeks in a row, and we're really happy to have a third-time contestant. We have David Greenspan. This is his third time he's been on this broadcast. He was number 76, number 133. And last year, I tell you, I just remembered you were New Year's Day this year. So
yeah, that's right.
Right. So that's the one I actually had forgotten about that. I went through the whole list. David Greenspan is MindShare101. David Greenspan is our neighbor to the north in Toronto, Canada area. And you know what? We met a couple of years ago, and it's been a great mutual admiration society since. And I just loved being with you and talking to you and going through some stuff. And David, as you know, this is Real Estate Talk TGIF 181. And I think you're going to remember this answer because you did before. What does TGIF stand for?
Thank God it's finale. You better believe it, man. Who's going to forget that? Come on. And I'm going to tell you something too. I don't know. What'd you say? 76, 130 something and 181?
76, 133 and then 181 today.
First, let me say thank you. The admiration I've got for you and what you are doing out there, it is absolutely awesome, man. I don't regret one moment that we sat talking for an extra like 2 hours when we met back in San Diego a few years ago. It has been wicked, and it has been an absolute honor to be on the show. I am grateful for the invitation. I say that very sincerely. Now, to that, I will tell you that being here for the third time, this is wicked, and I hope it's not the last time. But there's something near and dear to the fact of being on show number 181 for me, which is a big deal. I mean, I said this to you just before we got on air, but that is my jersey number. And for anybody who's like, jersey number, like, well, what do you do? No. You know, as an adult who no longer plays any type of like really competitive sports, I do coach sports. I do play some men's league hockey, but I've been wearing number 81 on my back forever. And my little man, Joshua, who's now 10 years old, that has been his number since day one. Yeah, I might have had a little influence on that, but you know, since then he's owned it, you know, and he is now taking over the roles of being number 81. So anyhow, man, we're excited to be here today.
That's awesome, man. And as you guys know, I mean, there's something you see differently here. There's like, yes, he is wearing an RE Skill Builder hat, and I am wearing a MindShare101 hat.
I love this hat.
So you know what, man, we can get right into it. Look, I told you we we're going to start off with something you told me right after we met, before our first time we were on. You said disrupting the sheep mentality one day at a time, poking, provoking, and making them laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk to me about the sheep mentality. Talk about disrupting it. Anything you want to say, man? Today is a free-form show. Let's just have some fun, man.
You know what? Here's the deal, Dave. Look. Years ago, over a decade and a half ago, when we opened up our marketing company called Kits Keep in Touch Systems, the whole premise of Kits was to, and this was way, way, way back in the day, was to do a newsletter for the real estate industry, right? And have and not for the industry, but for each individual agent to go out to their database, because we know that an agent's business is driven 70 to 90% of that ROI comes from that contact list. So here we are with this like wicked paper product, you know, which leverages something called variable data publishing. And what variable data means is that when you've got a contact list, we'll call it 100 different people, and just random numbers here, 100 different people, every single one of those people are different. Well, what happens is when you take the data, first names, last names, mailing addresses, what you know about people, and you put it into a system, well, there's going to be different variables because you and I are not the same.
Right.
And so as the agent, if I can take that and start to really personalize by just punching in some different variables, and there's all the answers are there in the system, but I punch all those things in, what ends up happening now is now we can create these really highly customized and incredibly personalized newsletters to go to your contact list. Well, that started to morph, and that started to turn into like email and CRM. And then this guy named Zuckerberg came out. I don't know if anybody's heard of Mark Zuckerberg. This guy comes out with this thing called Facebook. And we had just come out with this wicked paper product. And all of a sudden I'm battling not only, just the fact that we've got mail and whatever else, my competition in the marketplace, but now we're battling Facebook. Oh my God, man. So here's where I'm going with the sheep mentality, though. So here's what ends up happening now is that because technology is what it is, and because everybody looks at the bright, shiny object, and because we as society like to look and go, what's she doing? How's she being successful? I'm going to do that too. And what's he doing? How's he being successful? I'm going to do that too. What we end up doing now is we start to follow what other people are doing without any rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
So here we go now. Now we're talking to people, and now we're talking about their marketing, and now they're asking us questions, and how much is it, and what's this, and what's that. And people are starting to, look, we've been fortunate, man. We got thousands of clients still using this program. We've been kicking over a decade and a half. That proves something to you, right? This is like the number one keep in touch program there is for real estate in North America, hands down. We could talk about the details of that another time, but here's where the sheep mentality comes in. Is that every time you talk to somebody on a phone and every time they talk to you about wanting to grow their business, it's some of the same things. One, I don't know my budget, so I don't really know how much I can spend.
Right.
Two, it's going, well, I don't know, maybe people aren't really reading paper anymore. I'm just going to do email, and forget about paper and email even, but just the misconception of where people are building their business.
Right.
Now, fast forward, and as you and I like to go to these conferences and we like to learn, and I envy you for it, man. You are always, always learning. I love it. We do very much the same thing over here, especially from marketing perspective. I want to know the latest and greatest. I want to know what the trends are. I want to be able to tell you what the trends are so that you can make the right decisions.
Right.
Informed decisions.
Right.
Well, now you're talking to people, and what did we see, over the past decade? Online lead generation, chatbots, automation, action plans. But set it and forget it is set it and forget you. Yet people look and say, but hold on a second though. Look what she's doing. Look what he's doing. They're all trying it. So now we saw the bell curve begin and everybody started to try this thing. Then we started to see it flatline. And over the past, I'd say probably 18, 24 months, we started to see the decline. Why? Because people have gone through the bell curve to start to realize, hey, it's not all it's cut out to be. So the sheep mentality becomes when a guy like you or a guy like me gets up on a stage at a conference in front of an audience and goes, look at the bright, shiny object. Most people look and go, oh my God, bright, shiny object. I'm going to go try that.
Right.
Well, let me ask you a question. If I said to you, Dave, I want to invest some money in real estate.
Yep.
But I'd like to make, I don't know, call it like 200 grand in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Right.
Is it possible? Now, in today's market, you could argue, like, if you find the exact right property in today's market. But the reality is, what do we always say about real estate? It's a what? It's a long-term investment. Don't expect to just make money overnight, right? So when we look at marketing, we look at our business, to sit back and say to ourselves, well, I'm just going to try this. Well, you can't just try this. You have to strategize. How does it fit into my budget? How does it actually fit into the overall marketing plan as a tactic? What am I going to do to support that new tactic? And can I, again, from a budgeting, can I afford this for the next 12 to 36 months? Because if you can't, and you're just doing it because look what so-and-so down the hall was doing, you're following like sheep, right? And so what I want people to do is be individuals, which this is an individual sport. And yeah, we got a lot of teams and a lot of powerhouse brokerages and everything else. But, when you think about it, you're here with your own real estate license. You're in this business for you. In fact, you're in this business to help lots of other people with the biggest asset in their entire life. So now you got to think to yourself, who is my audience?
Right.
What am I going to do for marketing? What can I afford to do for marketing? What does my plan look like? And how much effort am I going to put into it? And when you break it down that way and you don't follow the herd, you can do some incredible things. So what we like to do is I like to poke. I want to make fun of the fact that we're all following like sheep. I want to poke you in the forehead. And look, to those of you that don't know me, it's all in good jest. Right. But I want to poke you there to get you thinking for a second. Because too many times we don't think, we just react. Well, if we put a little bit of thinking into it, a little bit of logic into it, a little bit of a plan into it, now you can make a lot of money with it.
So you just went through in the past 8 minutes, 3 to 4 weeks of coaching. So
look, there's a lot of meat and potatoes that's got to go in between all of that stuff, right?
Because there's a lot to unpack here.
It's systems. This is where we're at right now in the year, though. Systems and processes.
I want to hit a couple of things that you said. One was, people, and this is along with what you said, is that people are told when they get in this business, find someone that's successful and copy what they do, right? Copy what they do. Okay, great. What they don't tell them is learn what they do, learn how they do what they do. Don't copy what they do, because that's the problem with 80 to 90% of real estate agents that want to be pros. Look at me. I just sold a house in 10 minutes for $85 million over asking. They're not seeing the whole thing.
That's right.
Right? I have a process I go through on a daily basis on social media. And social media is all important to, if you want to get noticed on social media as a marketing channel for yourself, you need to be more than just a teller. Can't tell people I'm bragger, right?
That's
and
right.
People are
Yep.
used to me saying that, right? But when I say teller, when I say teller, you're missing a word. You have to be a storyteller, right? Why was it so much fun to work with that client? Was there an issue? And you know what? If there wasn't something you can really tell a story about, where it was 1, 2, 3, great. It's really maybe something you don't want to post. But let's also go back to social media. Another thing I want to talk about with it, and the kits, right?
Yep.
You came out with kits at a time where and Facebook came out. You had to figure out. Well, one of the things that I know you talk about, and I know we all work on, and we all try to push our clients to do, is understand that this is a piece of your overall plan, right? It's not just sending a newsletter. It's not just a postcard. It's not just an email. You take everything together and you put it out. Now, it's only going to work in one instance. One case, it'll work if you're actually going after the people that will work with you.
That's the key. I just finished reading a book, which I quite enjoyed. And I was, at first I was a little hesitant to read it. I thought, where's the relevance maybe? But I thought, I got to do this. I'm in marketing. I got to read it. It was called The Undefeated Marketing System. And essentially what this was, and I'll flub the tagline here. So again, look it up on Audible or whatever it is, Undefeated Marketing System. But essentially this was they said something along the lines of like how, basically how presidents win the elections kind of thing. Right. So it's like, what are they doing? And now let's take that for an example for a moment and say, and we're not going to use any presidents' names here because it don't matter who. Okay. Let's just go down the road for a moment and say,
100%.
These people have like a lot of money behind them. Okay. And this is something that we're not all privy to when we go to market our business. We don't all have endless pits of money, right? We don't have, every single resource available when it comes to marketing across the entire country. We just don't have what they've got available. So the idea behind this was they're talking about this marketing system. Where did they start? And what was the entire theme throughout the entire book? Understand who your audience is, figure out what they need,
Right.
and then go serve it up to them.
Right.
And I mean, you barely need to read the book now that I just told you that. But it's also not something that I was blown away by, because the same thing we've been teaching for years. You know what I know what any marketer and strategist out there knows it. It all comes back to the contact list. It comes back to the relationships. It comes back to the audience. You said it when it comes to social, right? It's not just about being there. It's not just about telling, but it's share stories, right? Inform people, serve up through that messaging what it is that those people may need, maybe what they're looking for. And no, it's not all just about a newsletter or an email or a phone call or a social post. It's about the combined effort of everything together to talk to the exact right audience, to deliver the right message across the right channel.
Right.
So that at that moment, when people start thinking about real estate, they think about you. And that is the definition of MindShare. Right. So now it's a matter of using that cross-channel marketing approach and going, what's one channel going to do to support the next? And I said this a few minutes ago there, right? When we talk about, bots or online lead gen, or it could be farming flyers. It could be the postcards. It could be the bus benches. I told somebody the other day, I was at an event speaking, and I said, who's got a bus bench? And like just a few people put up their hands. I said, like, what are you doing to support it? She's like, nothing. I'm like, do you farm the area? She's like, no. I'm like, do you door knock? She's like, no. I'm like, you ever get any calls off? She's like, no. I'm like, but you continue to spend the money. She goes, yeah. I said, why? Because like, you like to see yourself when you're driving down the street. And she included, and the whole room broke out in laughter, which was good. She took it in jest, which is awesome. But the point is,
the right point.
Dave, even you and I, who love to do these and put out a lot of valuable content on a regular basis consistently, you and I both know this is not the only things we do.
No.
There are a lot of relationship calls that have to happen.
Right.
And when we come back to this business, it comes down to 70 to 90% of your business is going to come from group number one, that most important audience that you are talking to. That's who you want to focus on every single day to build your business in this business.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you talk about. I mean, we can go anywhere with this, but you can talk about the people seeing you, et cetera, right? It's like people, talk about how they don't. I used to hate Zillow leads. You don't have Zillow in Canada, but Zillow and Realtors.
We've got them up here. They're up here. They're up here. Yeah, so, they're not as heavy as what you guys have down there.
So the thing I look at is, and I used to say, well, you want to pay for a lead. I mean, that's not really prospecting. But then if you really think about it, David, if you look at it, what should come from that one lead that you get a transaction with? It's the follow-up. It's the relationship you're building where you should be able to, if you do it properly, you should get at least one more transaction out of it, if not 5. Right? Because
here's the thing with.
Go ahead.
And the thing with the online leads, sort of cut you off there, Dave, it's the follow-up. You just said it, right? It's the biggest issue most agents have is the follow-up. Right. It's just, I don't have the time. I'm busy working on this listing. I'm working on this offer over here. I didn't have the time to make the phone call. They weren't interested anyways. Hey, even from a beginning stage, did you take that person's information, put them into a system and set them up on a plan? Because if you didn't, right now, you got to know that. And literally, for everybody watching this right now, if you met somebody new today and you didn't put them in your contact list, let me assure you, they went into somebody else's and you just missed an opportunity. Right? Yeah, but they're not going to work with me. Like I was talking to a coaching client this morning. He's like, yeah, man. He says, I saw that list because we've got this whole resource center for our coaching clients, right? And we put it in there and we say who's missing from your contact list? He goes, oh my God, it was amazing. He even asked me who changed the oil in my car? I'm like, funny, right? But then I used the same example. I said, and you probably think I'm not going to put that guy or that girl in my contact list. Why? Yeah. They don't have a roof over their head? They're not going to make a move? You don't go in there and talk to them? Yeah, I do. But, no, okay, that's okay. Step aside. Let somebody else take your business. It's that straight. You want to poke and provoke. There it is right there. Right?
Poke and provoke. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's look, being coming from a production side, a production coach, and it's all about not only generating that connection, that contact, it's also generating business out of that contact. And as you just said it, it's called follow-up. Right?
You have to follow up, man. That's where everybody's following off. They're not doing the follow-up. And if you look at it too, and you think to yourself, I'm gonna go generate leads. I don't care if you do it from online or anywhere else. Typically speaking, when you go to generate a lead, this is somebody who's meeting you for the first time, especially if it's online. It's very focused on buyers. Very focused on buyers. And so for everybody here that looks and says, okay, well, I'd like to grow how many listings I get. Let's go back to that. Especially with the markets we're sitting in right now, listings are gold. Like I know north of the border, you got a listing, you're in great shape. You're in the buying side, you're going to be pulling your hair out. It's just the way it goes. So people have this strategy. They go, well, I want to focus on listings. Okay, great. But are you really going to tell a buyer or even like a rental, like a lease, I'm not doing this? No, of course not. You're going to do it. Okay, cool.
Right.
But if your strategy, and this is something everybody's got to understand, if your strategy is more focused on your time and your effort throughout a day, trying to cultivate online leads, and maybe doing a little bit of the follow-up you're supposed to be doing, it's going to be a very tough slug. You're going to spend a lot of money, and you're going to be burning the midnight oil with not a lot of traction. If you instead work your contact list, people that know you, like you, and trust you, you continue to build the trust factor because they already know you and like you. You continue to build the trust factor.
Right.
That's where listings are coming from. So there's 2 different ways you can skin this. You can do them both as long as you got the time and you got the money. But if you want to get more listings, you want to make more, you want to have more control in that deal, it's the listing that you want, this comes back to your contact list.
So my good friend talks about the three stages of awareness. One is unaware, second is home aware, and the third is home and you aware. Like most people, like you said, does that guy that changes the oil in your car have a roof over his head? The answer to that question is yes, but they're unaware that they might not even know that they're capable of buying a house. I mean, let's face it, there is a possibility that most tenants can qualify better for a mortgage than their landlord, right? Depending on investment situations, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So they don't know what they don't know. And as you meet them and put them in your realm, I'm not going to even call it a sphere yet. They're going to be aware that, hey, you know what, maybe, just maybe I can actually buy a home. So then they become, or rent, or maybe they become a tenant. Later on, they become a buyer, right? So maybe, just maybe, when you put them in your database, they're going to become aware of a home. And why did they become aware of that? Because of you. Now they're aware. Now they're home, and you aware. So anybody, if you're doing it properly and consistently, no, you can't send one letter every couple of months. You can't send an email once every 2 months. You can't do one post a day, one post on Tuesday, and then maybe next Wednesday. It's a consistency of your business. And here's the thing that people don't understand is your business. It's what you do for a living. Now, I will tell you that I think a lot of agents get out there and say, well, I'm not in this to be on social. I'm in this to sell houses. Sorry, it's one thing they didn't teach you in real estate school, that you need to promote yourself as well. Because if people don't know who you are, they ain't buying from you. And the days of sitting floor time or up time or whatever you want to call it, in those real estate brokerages that are broken, that don't work anymore, those days are over. It's individual brand.
You know what? And this is the idea. And for everybody that thinks they're selling houses, there's another misconception. No, you're not.
Exactly.
You're selling you.
That's the
You
product.
are the service. You are what you bring to the table. You are the one that's going to be there. Got off a call with a client of mine. He's got 4 deals that are supposed to close today that are pending on one buyer. And if that buyer doesn't get the financing, the dominoes will not fall in his way, right? So again, what are you doing? In this case right here, and again, we talked about strategy, we talked about what to do. This is where you got to get in touch with every single one of those clients today. Let them know exactly where we are in the process. Let them know exactly what you're waiting on. Let them know that you are there, you are paying attention, you are going to keep them posted. Stand by, right? Now what happens? Now we're communicating with the clients. We're letting them know what's up. We're building on that relationship. And what are they thinking? Hey, for example, Dave's got it. He's under control. I'm going to stand by. I'm going to wait. Because what's going to happen, and this is the other thing a lot of people don't think about often, what does longevity look like? What does that long-term experience look like? What's the opportunity down the road? So if you think now and you go, okay, wait a second. My role here is basically to pull all the strings. I got to deal with the client. I got to deal with the lawyer. I got to deal with the mortgage broker. I got to deal with the appraisers. I got to deal with everybody, right? And if I deal with everybody and I keep letting my client know, hey, it's good. We got this thing under control. My client's going to think, hey, it's good. He's got it under control. And then as things fall into place, and even if they don't a little bit, and you talk to them a little bit about it, but they feel good that you've got it, at the end of the day, when it all falls into place, what are they going to remember? You were on the ball. Yeah, they're not going to remember the bump in the road that happened. They're not going to remember any of the little, things that happened throughout the experience. They'll remember it, but it's not going to matter. They're going to chuckle about it, be like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. That was funny, but you had it under control. As opposed to lack of communication, not thinking about the fact that you're there for the buyer and or the seller, thinking about it's all the fact it's you. And at that point now you look and say, you know what? I'm doing this all for me. Now my clients aren't feeling so good. And now they're getting pissed off. They're starting to be uncertain. And when it all finishes up, if you didn't communicate properly, they will remember the bad part of the experience. And that's the part right there that will or will not get you future business.
Absolutely. And I want to take that and I want to add a word that everything you just talked about builds on for your future business. Look, 4 deals in one day because depending on one determined by one buyer, right? Yep. The whole domino effect, and keeping in touch with them and talking to the lawyers and talking to the appraiser, everything you said is one word. It builds your business it gives you momentum, right?
Oh, absolutely.
When you think about making those calls, and there's dozens and hundreds of calls that you're making on a regular basis, hopefully you are. And a lot of people don't want to do it. I get it. They find other ways to build business. That's fine. I'm not saying anything against the other ways, but making those calls, lead generation. When there's a no, it's not really a no. It might be a not yet, and it might be.
Yeah, that's right.
It also might be. I'll never buy anything or sell anything, but I heard you. It builds momentum. It builds momentum in them. But here's the other thing it does for you. It builds momentum in you. Because you remember that, okay, I made an impact here today. I'm going to make an impact tomorrow because I'm going to follow up on them. Or someone that talked to me, I'm going to follow up on. It's a momentum and a snowball that moves slowly down the hill, and it's going to pick up steam and pick up more snow as it moves along because you're getting in your business. See, a lot of people look at their business where they want to do one transaction a month or two transactions a month. Hey, look, you know what? When I had my brokers, if somebody was doing 2 a month, that was 24 a year. That was big. Now, as I look at my business 4 years later, right after moving away from my brokers, I'm looking at it 24 deals a month. It's easy.
Buddy, and this is the thing, man. Look, I'll tell you something. We are into goal setting mode right now with our clients.
Yep.
When you talk about the deals, we are
Right.
into pure on goal setting mode right now. And the big deal now is to look and say, okay, let's go big. Let's like scare the shit out of you big when it comes to goals for next year. And then let's just take those, right? And it's a very simple process for everybody right now. You know, and it gets a little bit more finite as we work on it together. But the idea here is like from a high level, figure what you want to achieve in business. Then figure out what you want to achieve personally. And remember something, at the end of the year, especially even this year, as you gauge yourself, you are not worth just the money you made this year or the deals you did. What you do for yourself,
Right.
Self-development,
Right.
personal development, your family, the people
Right.
around you. What you do on the personal side of life as well, because that right there is worth more than money and or deals. Your health, your mental state of mind, what you do to make that better. And if you were able to improve relationships and I'm talking relationship with loved ones, and you were able to improve yourself this year, self-development, working out, etc., you get better on that. That's also a big goal to hit. So now we look at it and say, what do our days look like and how are we going to convert more? Well, let's come back to this, right? You say, I want to do X amount of deals. I want to make X amount of money. I want to lose X amount of weight, go on X amount of vacations. Wonderful. I line item everything. Quantify what those things are, break those down from these big annual goals into like monthly, weekly, and daily goals, and then take that monthly sort of line, right, where you've quantified monthly what those numbers look like, transfer those into your calendar. Pick dates on which you're going to execute, pick dates and times in which you're going to execute on those things. And as you go through them, mark them complete. Reward yourself. Go into your goal setting sheet and actually say, I did this. And at the end of the month, you're going to look back and go, I did the deals. I made the money. I lost X amount of weight. Why? Because you actually created action steps to bring it to life. And again, Dave, this goes in the entirety of even marketing, right? Again, you want to build more mind share, like you said about consistency.
Right.
This comes back to it, right? I mean, you got 3 habits, three. Okay. To create a habit, to change a habit, to build a habit, a good habit or a bad habit, there's 3 pieces to it.
Right.
We got the trigger.
Yep.
We got the action, and we got the reward. The trigger is what's going to cause me to do. The action is what am I doing? And the reward is, hey, what did I accomplish by doing that? Trigger, action, reward. You want to change a habit, a good habit or a bad habit, follow that. And if it is a bad habit, you're like, I just can't figure it out. What are you doing just before you do whatever that action is? What is the trigger that causes you to do it? Find that out, change that, and you will begin to change habits. Right. So again, it comes back to a habit of communication. It comes back to a habit of dedication and consistency to scheduling. Right? Discipline. Right? It comes back to a habit of making sure that you are putting in the effort. Right? I love what you said before, you know, and you know, we either win or we learn. We never lose.
We don't
And if you
lose.
talk to and read from the best of the best out there, whatever line of business it is, they'll always tell you the progression looks like this. Get up and try, fail, learn. Get back up and try again, fail again, learn again. Do it again and again and again. And it sounds like actually like a negative. You kind of look and go, that doesn't sound real good. Yeah, but here's the best part. If you actually track that, throughout all of that, getting up and trying, the failing and the learning, you're actually on an upward trajectory because you keep winning. It's crazy how that happens, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
That's the circle of life.
It's what a lot of people don't understand. I mean, and it's also good when you're going through building momentum and doing everything you just said. You're also, what I've done and what I do now regularly is I look back, right? And they say, you know, live your life and build your life through the windshield, not the rearview mirror. But I look back is to see, you know, and to be honest with myself and to take responsibility for everything I do. Now, the idea is not to judge yourself. That's the hard part, because we tend to judge ourselves. And I've gotten away from that personally. And this is some stuff I don't really talk about much, but the idea is to look back on yourself, because a lot of people hold themselves back. They're in their own way, and everybody knows that, right? You know, it's like, okay, I don't really want to work that hard, but there's that shiny object. Bring it back to the first thing we started talking about is coaches and stuff. And let's face it, look, when coaches are on stage, they're there to sell coaching. They're there to sell coaching. That's their job.
I got to tell you something to that, because we've got a lot of different events that we are booked for right now, and this is a big underlying tone that we get oftentimes, especially with us. It's are you going to sell anything? I tell people all the time, no, I'm not pitching you on anything.
Right.
Okay. I'm not going to pitch. I'm not going to get on your stage and tell people about it. You know what? If people, and I'm going to say this to everybody, if you find that you got a connection with our style and what we do and what we bring to the table, check us out. Go to MindShare101.com and learn more. Then go scour our social medias, just like your buyers and sellers do to you when they're interested in a property before they even call you, because we know 76% of buyers and sellers start their search online, right? Do the same thing. Go look us up. Be like, you know what? Yeah, I like the vibe. I like the style. I like what they're bringing to the table. Cool. At that point, then go check it out. Let's book a call. Let's get on a call together. Free call. We'll talk more. We'll see if we're a fit for each other.
Exactly.
Right. But for us, we got 60 minutes on a stage. I want to be there to educate you. I want you to walk away going, you know what? I just learned something. I can apply something. And you know what? I actually like that guy. I want to learn more from him. Perfect. We've done our job.
That's see, what I was getting at is that's the coaching. Just like I said, old brokerages are broken. I believe the old coaching system is broken about getting on there. And, God bless ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson and how he goes through the stack and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, those who have read his books, it works and it's great. And I know people that do it to perfection, right? The point for me is that I want to sell with my passion, and maybe I click something in your head, right? And the problem with most situations like that is they're selling that shiny object. They're selling me, okay, they're selling them as, I'm going to help you do this, I'm going to help you do that, book a call with me and we'll get on, right? But the other way around is, you know what? Let's find out when we get on a call, it's okay. Where is it? Where's the glitch? Right? Where's the issue that we can help with? David, it's all in structure.
You know what, man? It so is in structure. And I'll tell you, that's why I said, even when, go back to what I said a few minutes about setting the goals. This is something, and I mean, I've joked about this for years. I used to be the guy that wanted to make $1 bajillion and take over the world. Not like a Pinky in the Brain take over the world, but you know what I mean? Like, I just want to be like known by all, right? And we're still there. But when you write down $1 bajillion, in fact, I never wrote it down because it scared the shit out of me so much. And I don't even know how many zeros that has. So it wasn't a very realistic. Now, much the same. I said this too, though. So I'm just going to come back to that, because I did say set them so big that they scare the shit out of you. It's just, if you don't know how many zeros that word actually has, like that's a little bit more than scare the shit out of you. That's just like, it may not even be fathomable. So bring it to a point where you do believe. But again, when you say structure, what are you going to do to bring it to life? And I'm telling you now, the biggest issue that most people have, first of all, they don't even set the goals. Next, they don't believe they can hit the goals. Next, it really comes back to fear. Fear of not being able to pull it off. Fear about not being able to accomplish. And guys, listen, fear is the biggest motivator in the entire world. Somebody could come to your home, tie you up, threaten you, and you might give up money for your life. And most 99 times out of 10, you get it, people will do that because we have fear, right? And it's a human characteristic.
Right.
So that now says, well, I don't know if I can achieve. That now says, I don't know if they're going to want to talk to me when I make the phone call. That now says, and that being fear, now says, I'm not going to post on social media because I'm worried about what they're going to say to me. When we come back to structure, when you want to grow your business, if you identify the right audience, your contact list, and you think about the 7 ways to communicate, in fact, for everybody here, go to my site, MindShare101.com, and download the Ultimate Marketing Bundle. In fact, there's 2 free downloads right there on the homepage for you. The Ultimate Marketing Bundle is going to explain the 7 different ways to communicate with another person. I encourage you to have all 7 in check at all times. The other one's a goal-setting guide. In fact, here it is right here. You can get this guide online at the website, completely free. It is loaded with different exercises that you can do in it to help you with your goal setting and your planning, okay? But where I was referring to was that marketing plan. Again, when you've got that structure, and you put in there, I'm going to make my calls at this time. I'm going to do my social at that time. I'm going to do my email at that time. I'm going to add somebody new to my database at this time. I'm going to have my showing thing and my listing presentation, whatever. I'm going to have all these things structured. Hey, structure is what's going to bring you success.
That's right.
And that right there is the biggest issue outside of this not setting goals and outside of this fear. We don't manage time. And I got to share that with you too. When we talk about managing time, I had this epiphany like a couple months ago. We can't manage time.
No,
It's not possible.
no.
You said you wanted to start today. Let's get together. Let's say, go live for 11 o'clock. Had we started at 11:30, I was like, yeah, man, would it still be 11? No, it would be 11:30.
Time management is bullshit.
It's bullshit. But you can
Yeah.
empower time to manage you. And there was the epiphany.
It's
So check this out.
God.
Open up your schedule. Look at the clock. It's going to give you all the little times, 6 o'clock and 6:30 and 7 o'clock and 7:30. Okay, cool. What are you doing with those minutes? Put it in. And if it's, I'm going to go drink water and have lunch, put it in.
Put it in.
If it's, I'm going to read my book to feed my brain, put it in. If it's, I'm going to go on social media, I'm going to scroll for 30 minutes, put it in. I'm going to go walk the dog. I'm going to go work out, put it in. People ask me all the time, they're like, you're that regimented? I'm like, hell yeah. If I had a dog, it would say, walk the dog. Okay. Because here's the thing. And you know it. I go to hockey like regularly, right? Like Joshua's got a game tonight. Game time. Okay. Check this out. Game time, 6:25. That's when the first puck drops. Okay. We got to be there for 5:25. I'm one of the coaches, so I like to be there for about 5:15. I want to show up before everybody, right?
Right.
I want
Right.
my boys in check because it's rep level hockey. We take it seriously, right? So I want to be there for 5:15. This rink tonight happens to be 20 minutes from me. So say I leave at like 10 to 5, okay? Now, 10 to 5, I'm leaving the house to get there. What had to happen before that? Well, we had to get ready. Probably had to have a quick bite, right? Just to be ready, right? Little man's got to get his stuff ready. Okay, cool. So say about 4 o'clock, we start getting ready today for that 6:25 hockey game. Realistic? Very. The
Yeah,
game, how long is the game? It's an hour. How long is it going to take him to get undressed and us get home and out of the rinks? Call it another hour. So we've just gone from a 6:25 hockey game to going, I'm going to block 5 hours in my schedule for that hockey game tonight. And the game is an hour. That is realistic. That is how you structure yourself.
So it's really interesting. It's always been a pet peeve of mine. I grew up and worked for my dad, worked for my dad for 25 years. And one of the things we always said was that if you're supposed to start at 9 o'clock, you don't walk in the door at 9 o'clock.
No, sir.
You get there 8:45, 20 to 9, you get set, you get your coffee, whatever. You start work at 9 o'clock.
That's right.
So like you just said, what do you have to do to get there 8:45? And if you use the excuse that there was traffic, shame on you. There's no reason for you to, there's going to be traffic on a certain day. You know where the traffic is. You know how long it's going to take you if there is traffic. It's your responsibility. It's a responsibility to you. There's no fear involved. It's choices we make.
Hey, listen, I make the joke all the time, and I love to do it on stage in front of people, and I'll do it right here, right now. For every single realtor listening, there's 2 types of time. There's real time and there's realtor time.
Fuck yeah.
Let me tell you, you should be operating on real time, not realtor time.
No.
Okay. And I know you're chuckling, some of you right now. I know you are, because you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But Dave, you just said it, man. You don't have an appointment for 9 and walk in at 9. Okay.
Right.
Same thing with a listing presentation. Guys, you're going to show up 5 minutes like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was just over here. I was just doing this other thing. No, it's not okay. You don't understand.
No,
I'm about to potentially put the biggest asset of my entire life on the market. Okay. I'm going to have to move my entire life. This is serious stuff for me. And
Right.
you're telling me, sorry, I was late. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll give you one of those. One. But you pull that one again, I'm going to realize that I am not the most important person in your world. And quite frankly, whether you like it or not, I respect that you're dealing with a lot of other people. But you know what? If I decide I'm going to hire you, I better be the most important person in your world. Make me feel that way at least, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah,
and this is the duty we want to give to all of our clients.
Exactly.
But the minute you say you're late, the minute you said, my dog ate my homework, hey, I'll give you one, but you can never use it again. So better off, it's not the first time you meet me, is that you use that. You know what I mean? Best
Absolutely.
foot forward.
And I think that one time goes with, I'm sorry I'm late. Shut up. Excuses don't matter.
No excuses, man. It doesn't matter.
No
Doesn't
excuses.
matter.
It doesn't
No, it
matter.
doesn't matter. It
And
doesn't.
it's funny when, I mean, realtor time, everybody says, oh, well, it's realtor time. We can wait 15 minutes. I do events now once every couple of months. I'm starting at 1.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting,
Yeah.
right? I've got a full agenda I want to get through. I want to help as many people as I can. So for those 15, 20, 30 people out of the 50 that showed up on time, I'm respecting their time. It's called integrity.
100% is called integrity. And then when you go back to your own shoes, people, yeah, I know what I got to get done today. I got a lot of things I got to do today. Really? You mark them down? No, I know what I got to do. Okay. First of all, you're not going to get a lot done.
No.
The next thing, people are like, yeah, I got a to-do list. Okay, but like, do you schedule it? Wow, no, I just kind of know where I got to be and when I got to be there. Okay, cool. Listen, you might get some of it done. But to everybody, the minute you start empowering time to manage you will get it all done and then still have time for more. How's that sound? Right? Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to tell you something. And we don't, kids aren't here. Okay, cool. We don't tell the kids this, right? We tell them work hard, play hard. We teach them the morals and the values. Well, I got to a point in my life, I'm all about the play hard, work hard. I'm doing it the other way now. I want to play, and then we're going to work. Now, how do we get it all done? Schedule it. Right. Schedule every piece of it. Now you can enjoy every single moment you want. And if you're getting up every single day because you do have loved ones, you do have family, you do have other things you want to do in life other than just work, then figure out how to schedule that into your schedule as well. But in order to do that, let's not joke. Let's not kid ourselves. If you got a mortgage to pay and bills to pay, well, then this comes right back to you better have the business scheduled as well. Now, I'm going to come back to that too, because earlier on in the show, we brought this up about, talking to the clients and explaining to them and the prices and the values and everything else. And I had this thought that I didn't get out, and I wanted to come back to this for a second. We put out a suggestion. I put out a suggestion to our group, and I'll put it out here. You want to add value. And this is where you were talking, right? Like show them what's good for them and that need. Where's the value to them? Come up with a document. Okay. And I don't care how you do it. It could be a video. It could be a landing page. It could be a PDF. You could get creative. You could do it all of those. But you come up with a document that basically lists out a whole bunch of different price ranges. With those price ranges, what it would take to actually what do you have to put down as a down payment? Assuming that they put down what they're supposed to put down, here's kind of what the carrying cost on a house like that looks like. But you factor in not only the carrying cost on the mortgage, but the utilities, the groceries, the gas, the insurance, you name it. You factor in what it's going to cost to live. And now you paint that back to a buyer and you say, look, if you're looking to get into a price or a house that is this much money, here's what you can expect you're going to need to carry every single month. And now what you're doing is you're empowering people, because now it comes back to what you said about, they don't know what they don't know. And I love that line. It's so true. They don't know, and they don't know what we know. Right. So now they're looking around. You're like, hey, you pre-qualified. They're like, well, yeah, you think you could buy that house? Yeah, for sure, man. I love that house. No, but have you checked with the bank? Can you actually buy the house? Do you understand how much it costs to afford that house? And now you can paint more realities. You can educate. And you can set these people up to potentially get into their dream home, or to recognize, put the brakes on, you're not ready yet. Talk about value, talk about experience, talk about helping other people, again, get into the biggest asset in their entire life. Again, that's value.
It's interesting when we talk about what people are doing with their businesses. It's interesting to talk about. We talked about time. We talked about dedication. We talked about fear and doubt. Right? You talked about fear. I'm adding doubt to it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that people don't get a lot. I do a program just on doubt and no doubt, and starting days without doubt, and that's always is the undermining effect. From doubt comes fear. From doubt comes procrastination. From doubt comes all these things. And when we look at time, we've been talking about that phrase time management, which somebody needs to throw that away, right? Because, oh, geez, I'm late. Or I'm supposed to be prospecting from 10 to 11 and it's 10:15. Shit, I'll wait till tomorrow, right? It's doubt. It's the doubt that they don't want to do. They've got to pick up this 700-pound phone in order to make that call. And the doubt goes in So it's number one, picking up the 700-pound phone. Second is punching in the number. Notice I said punch in, not dial, because I say dial, nobody knows what that means anymore.
Yeah.
And then when they hear the phone ringing, voicemail. They're praying for voicemail.
Yeah.
Right. And I've talked about this all along. And those shiny objects, these all programs, these action plans that everybody makes. It's not phone avoidance technology. And it brings me to the thing that to beat doubt is just to act. Right.
Absolutely.
So I look at this thing. I have this thing called GCAP. It's set goals, commit to the goals, prepare the action steps to achieve the commitments and goals. Because let's face it, a goal is a hope and a dream. You only measure goals by results you get, which is a commitment. And then you need the action steps to get there, but you're missing one thing. If you're not performing the action steps that you set up, you're going to fail. And a lot of time you need to get through the doubt that's in your head. And what is it? Maybe it's just a matter of picking up the phone and dialing and making that first call. Maybe that's your hardest call of the day. You know,
Always.
our goal, David, you and me, is like, you know, how do we get people to do that? I mean, look, my biggest fear is picking up the phone. I'd say it, you know, it's my biggest fear. My biggest issue in my business always has been, right? But I've got to get through it. And I do get through it because I make the first one, then the second one, then the third one, so on and so forth, right?
But the second, the third, the fourth, they get way easier and they become fun. Look, we've been doing calls for how many years of our life, okay? And I still get to that point where I'm like, oh, man, here we go. It's time to make the calls, right? And the first call might be a little bit choppy. The first voicemail might be a little bit choppy. But you spend that 60 to 120 minutes getting through those in your day. I'm telling you now, by the last call, you probably closed a deal or gotten another appointment or had some other opportunity pop its head up. This comes back to, you know, us Canadians, we love our hockey. And coach, and this is probably hold true for any sport that's out there, but you know, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Right now, if you take 10 shots, you got a 10% scoring rate, you get 1 goal. You take 10 shots or 100 shots with the 10% scoring rate, you get 10 goals. So it comes right back to, are you going to take the shots? Now, how do we do that, though? Because, again, the doubt. So the doubt of what they're going to say, the doubt of whether I'm going to feel it, the doubt of whether it's going to go well. Okay, where's the action step in this whole thing? This comes right back to tonight. You take 20 minutes tonight to own your tomorrow. What does that mean? You go into your schedule tonight and you lay out your entire day for tomorrow. Now you go to bed satisfied and you wake up determined. Now, when you get up, you look again, habit, look at the calendar, trigger. What do I got to do? Oh, I got to read my book, review my goals. Perfect. And I'm going to suggest to every single person right now, I'm going to challenge you from now on, from this day forward, stop picking this thing up as the first thing you do in the morning. Check social media and check email, and stop making this the last thing you look at every single night to check social media and check email. Get other people's thoughts out of your head. Stay focused on who you are. Best way to do that, start off by reading. Start off by reviewing your goals. Start off by hydrating. We all need water. Once your mind is right, then you can tap in and let the rest of the world in. Same thing with nighttime. Finish your night by reviewing what you accomplished today, marking it off so you can see how much closer you got to those goals. Go and schedule your day for tomorrow and write in your gratitude journal. Mark down all the good that happened. Now you're going to start to build this habit. Right? Trigger, action, reward. You're going to start to build this habit. And every day you're going to go, okay, this is what I'm doing. And at the end of the night, I'm going to finish it off. I'm going to look at all the good that happened. I'm going to schedule for tomorrow. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to get at it. And things are going to start to happen. You're going to start to build. And then people are going to start to go, how do you do so much in a day? Man, he looks successful. Sure. You were into a habit. You have a process.
And it's because you've committed to it that, you know, it's like I have something on my thing here. I'm going to read it just as it is. Be so fucking committed to what's best for your heart that you're willing to sit through the most uncomfortable pain of growth, that you refuse to accept anything less than complete love, alignment, and success.
Love it.
That's what it is, you know. I mean, it's the way you start your day is really important.
Yeah.
People want to talk about, well, I write affirmations and I do this stuff. Great. Fantastic. I mean, you know, I recently heard Grant Cardone mock people for that as a joke. And he says, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to kill it. He goes, right. But he knows what he's got.
But Grant, the way he got to where he is, he wrote those down all the time.
He did.
He goes through, he's got his book beside him every single day and he writes those things down.
Right. And he talked about that, right? And there's two people I know, of, and one of them I know is Tom Ferry and Grant Cardone. Both write down what they want to accomplish.
Yeah.
They read it every day. They write it every day. And you know what? It allows. This is going to sound really weird for a lot of people, but it's true. It allows the universe to start doing that for you.
Guys,
Right?
you want to know the most powerful thing you've got? Like the best tool you could possibly ever have? Go get yourself a pen. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
After all these years, and as smart as these things are, right? Right here. This is your golden answer. Okay? Because I'm right there too. We write it down every single day.
Right.
Okay. And I'll tell you, I could go on about stories after stories of things that, yes, are on my vision board, which is staring at me while I sleep every night. And when I open up my eyes, it's staring at me. It's right there. And I look back at it. I will tell you, there are things that have come to life that are the most incredible. I don't know if I told you this story, Dave. I was at a conference. There was, I don't know, 1,000 people or something in the audience, and I had Jennifer there with me. And you know, at the end of the event, I took a selfie with the crowd, right? And behind me, at the back of the room, is Jennifer taking a picture of that exact moment in time. Now, check this. About 11 months earlier, she had put this vision board together for us. And she comes to me, she's got this photo. And the photo has me on the stage, and it's got, you know, the big MindShare logo at the back, and it's got two screens on either side with my face and all this stuff. And she's like, what do you think? And we put a number, a quantity of how many of those are going to happen this year or that year. Anyhow, we go to do this event, and we're in the airport, we're flying home, and she's looking through a camera roll, and her jaw hits the floor. She does one of those big gasps, like, oh my God. And I'm like, whoa, what happened? What happened? She goes, look at this. And she shows me the photo. I'm like, oh, that photo's so wicked. She goes, yeah, check this out. And she shows me the photo of the vision board. And they were almost identical. And the vision board picture was something she had created in like Photoshop or something. How's that happen?
Yeah. And you know,
I got a lot of those, eh? A lot of those.
We're against time now. And I want to, and you know, Carl, this guy, Carl Pease, who you see, I put comments up.
I love that, Carl. Remove the word try. It's so true, man. I might do it. I don't know if, no, when.
So I've known Carl from my Central 21 days, and he's always on this, and he's just so supportive. And this guy was on show number 3.
Yeah, Fraser.
You need to come back, Jason, by the way.
Jason's the man.
Right?
Jason's my dude.
So I want to talk
EPM.
about this. It's right. So I want to talk about this, and this is personal. I want, and you can give me a reaction, and then we'll move on, right? And you know, doubt is something that I've lived with my entire life, and I spent the majority of this year, as I said earlier, a little bit about in retrospective, and looking back on my life, looking back on the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, growing up. You know, what were issues for me? I actually did my own psychoanalysis to a point. I'm not saying anybody should do that, but I had to do it to get where I am now. And I was writing affirmations. I was writing my gratitude journal. I was writing, I had 3 things that I did over the number of years. And it was download off my head. It was one of the first, I would read some in the morning, getting up. This is my footing for the day. Read some, download in my head. Whatever that thing is in my head, I write it down. It could be a sentence. It could be a page. Then I write my gratitudes and I write my affirmations. It got to the point where my affirmations were wrote. It was the same thing day after day after day, which is nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
But I didn't see any, but it wasn't getting me anywhere. And personally, I believe that I actually thought for a short time that it was bullshit.
Many people do.
I stopped it for a number of months. I stopped doing it. I said, I got to get back to this. And I started forcing myself to do it a little bit because I am grateful for a lot of things. And then very good person close to me was a friend of mine, coach of mine. Yes, David and I do spend money on coaching for ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And we started talking about working together again, and he started telling me about. What was that?
No. I'm going to give you a suggestion on a book in a minute. I just wanted to pull that up while you were saying that because it falls right in line with what you're.
So you know, we started talking about our doubts on a call a month ago. We started talking about our doubts, and he went into different things because he was probably the one instrumental in me starting it 4 years ago, right? And so he says that once you start doing, he started talking about his doubts for himself and what started happening when he started really getting serious and intentional about what he was writing. So I said, you know what? I respect this guy so much. By the way, this guy's less than half my age, or he is half my age. And I'm not, no, I'm kidding. But he is half my age. But anyway,
you're a young dude. Lots
but
of
anyway, but here's the point. I started doing it again with intention. And shit started coming in front of my face. And it's just like I was talking to Joanne yesterday about it, my girlfriend about it. And she said, see, I told you. Because she busts my chops all the time to make sure that, you got to be positive. And you think you are, you're probably not.
Look, writing it down, okay, and this is the idea, having the schedule, writing this stuff down. I cannot stress the importance of this thing. Okay, tracking your goals every day, reading every day, you will achieve those things you want.
Yeah. So I got back into it, but I mean, there's so many books I've read over the past several months. I can go through them. The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, the Go Giver series, Never Split the Difference, Millionaire Habits by Dean Graziosi.
Yep.
Performance. High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard.
Great books.
These are all like amazing books that I've had to listen to and read over and over and over again. And I'm going to tell you something. If you guys like Audible, do yourself a favor, buy the book too.
Guys, 30 minutes of reading a day is on average 24 books a year, depending on how long your book is, on average 24 books a year. Think about how much food you're pumping into your brain. Here's another one. This goes right in line with what we were just talking about.
Go, man.
Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. Change your paradigm, change your life. Okay. And it is so in line with what we were just talking about right now.
It's funny. I mean, over the past month, there's one name author I've heard more than any. It's been Bob Proctor.
He's got some great stuff, man. Great stuff. Old schooler. A lot of those principles hold true, but I'll tell you something. You come back to listening to your new influencers in this industry, your new coaches, those people that you believe have the millions or that have the millions of followers. You start to, the principles, the learnings are very much the same, right? And everybody comes back to this whole thing. You want to have more success, figure out how to help more people.
So just, I want to put a bow on everything when it comes to reading and everything. And basically what I've learned of the books I've mentioned, right, is the application of what you're listening to or reading. It doesn't mean necessarily that you've got to do everything that they say in the book, right? Or that they talk about. And these are business books. These are not motivational, right? There's a lot of great motivation guys out there. Matt Ferry and geez, I can go on, right? And you and I worked with great people. But the thing about it is if you apply something from it, as far as negotiating, never split the difference. You can't get a better book.
Hey, I'll tell you, I got to plug it right now. The MindShare podcast, we had Chris Voss on the show because I shared a stage with him a couple years ago before this whole, world went into another place. But check out the episode of the MindShare podcast. He was actually a guest on my show. It was very cool.
So publicly, I'm going to ask you for a favor to give me an in to him. So I've been trying to get him. I can't even.
Yeah, he's good, man. It was a lot of fun.
I want to look, man. You and I said it before. We got on 10 minutes early and we went into our thing talking.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure, Dave.
This is just a lot of fun talking with you. And now we can share this with everybody. And the most important thing that we share, and we do this weekly, no matter who the guest is on Real Estate Talk TGIF, is we're talking about how to help the people from the nitty gritty, from the trenches, right? And we talked about structure today. We talked about schedule today. We talked about prospecting. We talked about momentum. We talked about a lot of stuff in an hour, right? And the important part is, guys, as much as we talk about it, it needs that much attention on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis to build your business, right? And just like Carl said, you get everything you want out of life if you help enough people get what they want out of life. That's true. And that's the basis.
Absolutely.
That's a real good basis of what we're talking about giving. The Go Giver series. If you don't know what that is, find out. There's 4 books. They're fun to read. Read them. You're going to understand. There's one thing you're missing in it, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. Read the book. David, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It is the day after Thanksgiving for us, right? And
that's right. A very happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I should have said that off the top of the show. Forgive me on that.
No worries. And
we celebrate ours like a month ago.
Right, November 1st, right?
No, October 12th here.
October 12th. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I guess over Black Friday. So I go to a black shirt. I knew you would wear black today. I knew you would. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything else. You know?
Did you say that publicly? You're gonna give Jen something to fuel fire on. She says the same thing. Which black shirt?
So David, my question is, and I know we're gonna get personal. Jennifer, does she wear black all the time?
She does not. She's our colorful spirit in the house. She keeps us alive for sure, man.
Well, you know what? What's really special, what I know about Jennifer is that she does cook very, very well, from what I understand.
She is the best. Like I have yet to find somebody that can rival her. I don't care what kitchen, what restaurant you go to.
That's why it's important for someday for us to get together and have her cook.
Yes, sir.
Together, because that would be so much fun. This morning, I just tell you what breakfast was. It was ciabatta bread with oil and garlic with toasted fresh mutts, mortadella.
Fresh what?
What?
Fresh what?
Mozzarella.
Yeah. Oh, mozzarella. Okay, I was gonna say what? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Sorry, it's slang. Okay.
Yeah, I heard mutts. I'm like,
with a dried roasted tomato paste, sun-dried tomato paste.
Someone sounds like an appetizer for dinner, Dave.
With more, yeah, it does, doesn't it? With mortadella, just like mortadella. It was amazing, right? That was breakfast. Anyway, so I talked to them about food. There's 2 things we got to finish up with. The first thing is,
go for it.
First thing is, how can I help you grow your business?
Me?
And how do people get in touch with you too?
Hey, listen, man, you're look, you know what? Just collaborating with you is always helpful. I thank you. I'm going to return that question right back at you and say the same thing. Let us know how we can help you. It's just been an absolute pleasure being on the show with you guys today. By all means, I do want to encourage everybody. I know you are all on Instagram, so make sure you check us out at David Greenspan 101. I want to get everybody to go over to the website, MindShare101.com. Make sure you grab those 2 free downloads. If anybody wants to talk further about anything, please, I invite you all to get in touch because we are all about helping you grow your business. But of course, tune into the MindShare podcast. Mr. Finale has been a guest of ours and will be coming back very shortly. Much the same. We've got some awesome industry leaders on there. There's always something great to learn from it. So I want to encourage everybody to tune in, tap in, and connect at any time.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I told you there'd be something special at the end of the broadcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And, you know, every broadcast, everybody gets a hat. They say that's why they came on. Obviously, you've gotten your hat.
I got my hat.
I got something special for you today, just off the presses.
Ah, look at that. You know what? And I love the red with the white. You're rocking some Canadian, unless it's orange. I don't know. It's probably
it's red.
Is it? Okay, good.
It's red. It's red.
Good.
This one's coming to you. I have your address from show 76, unless you moved.
Yeah, we're good, brother.
And I want to thank you so much, man. I mean, reconnect, and also you helped me reconnect with Jason Frazier. Like I said, it was on episode 3.
Jason's the man. Jason was the catalyst as to why the MindShare podcast got started from day one.
I believe that.
I'll share that story another time. He's the man.
I believe that. Jason it was actually in person at one day at the Inman conference in San Francisco. We actually got together in the lounge, and he did the broadcast with me. So anyway, Jason, thanks for coming on.
I'll tell you, man, he's definitely an industry leader. So many people have to follow. We are excited because we've joined up with him and the EPM crew at Equity Prime Mortgages to help empower a lot of more people. We've got EPMX, which is a conference coming up in January, which I encourage everybody to get some tickets from. You can go to EPM Experience for that. But we're also doing some wicked real estate training for these guys. You know, just an awesome group of people to connect with. And again, Frazier's just a very good friend of mine. So all the power to that guy, and I encourage everybody to check him out as well. But Dave, thank you, man. It's been a pleasure being here. Always appreciate the invitation, and can't wait to do it again with you, man. Keep up the awesome work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Stay on for a second. We're going to go out. Everybody, thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving. And stay off the highways. There's too many people out there.
And don't forget to build some MindShare. We'll talk to you guys later.
Exactly.